So, a comprehensive presentation on trends and insights of business credit approvals for 2024, aimed at informing stakeholders for strategic decisions. Okay, so GBC Business Credit, exploring business credit approvals and their implications. So, I'll let you guys kind of read this, but I'm just going to cover like points and stuff. But basically, this is data I compiled for the last 5 years. So like this is the current statistics based on credit approvals by industry sector. 2.35% small business default rate. This is just factoring in loans. It's not like store cards or any other business credit lines. These are just strictly business loans that would be, say, reported as small business financial exchange, merchant cash advances. So indicating stable credit environment, this metric is crucial for lending assessing. Basically what's kind of factoring in, go to the next part and you'll understand this towards the end. 59% financial health of small businesses. Almost 59% of all small businesses are reported to be in fair or poor financial condition, highlighting the financial struggles many face, which could affect credit approvals. So I put that in there to really emphasize that the underwriters are actually looking at most business credit applications. Even if you're established and you look healthy, it's still being kind of reported in their eyes as you're either fair or poor. Even if you're fair and poor, you still can get approved and you're still getting approved. These are more what the underwriter's looking at. And that's kind of what I made this and put this together to make you kind of understand what the underwriter is thinking about and what they're looking at, whether it be automated or manual underwriting. So that's really what this whole video and this whole live's kind of about, is making you guys think outside the box and think about not what other YouTubers and what you read online. Forget about all that. Think about if you're the underwriter, if it's your money, you got $10 million of your own hard-earned money, and then you have a credit company and you're personally looking at everything potentially to be never paid back to you. So you have to look at things as an underwriter's position. Gonna loan a $10,000 or $5,000 may not sound like a lot for, JP Morgan Chase or Synchrony, but it's actually a lot when over 50% of businesses default. It's very common, especially the no PG. 40% financing needs are met. Only 42% of small businesses having their financing needs met. So there's a big gap of funding opportunities. And that's why there's all these fintechs and no PG, because a lot of this is based on your traditional lending and not the newer technology, fintechs, financial technology, business credit opportunities, companies out there. So again, this goes into more like SBA loans, big business loans, but I felt the need to put it in there for a future project, but I just kind of wanted to do a brief about it. 43% of small businesses applied for loans. In the year 2019 marked a peak in loan applications for small businesses, 43% actively seeking. So like almost 50% of all businesses, and these are not even talking about the businesses like you guys that are trying to build up business credit. This is just standard businesses, because most people that are like trying to get business funding, they don't even know anything about business credit. They've never looked up how to build business credit. I bet you could talk to 20 different local business owners in your city, wherever you're from, and ask the owner, have they ever built business credit intentionally? I bet you'd be hard pressed to find 1 out of 20 business owners that would even know what the heck you're even talking about, because most people think just business loans and just traditional business credit cards, American Express, that it's all comes down to your personal credit score. So most business owners don't even understand that there's this area where you can get business credit if you actively try to build it up. And there's so much out there. Like I got over 2.4 million in 16 months. Out of that, 60% was no PG. It had no bearing on my personal credit whatsoever. But anyways, I don't want to burn you guys with all this. So like I said, this is for a future video that I'm going to break down this in more detail, but it's not based for everybody. This is going to be more for the bigger businesses and more established. This is like what I'm talking about, the industry based. So these are the approval rates. And this is like what I was talking about, where I put up here, explain the baseline. The baseline is going to be your NAT codes and your SIC codes, your industry-based codes. So manufacturing gets a higher approval, even though people think it's high risk. It's not actually high risk manufacturing if you have a factory or something, because those type of businesses, they have money coming in because they're offering terms net 30. So they have invoices that are always coming receivables constantly. Retail as well, because that can be all metric and gauged by credit card swipes. Most people pay with cards, so those can be more stable. Now, retail can be high risk, but it just depends on how long it's been established, what type of business within the retail sector it is. And then services is overall, if you have a business and you're not sure what, like you want to do a little real estate, stay away from saying you're in real estate. Don't use real estate in your business name. Don't use investments. Stay away from that. It's better to put like solutions, like John Solutions, ABC Solutions, Services, LLC, or whatever, because that's going to be a broad name that you're not going to get tagged with a high risk industry code right away by the bureaus. And then it kind of is like an umbrella. So I have some students that dabble in real estate and transportation and e-commerce, and they're doing that all under one business, putting all the money, and instead of having 3 LLCs, and then it's like 2,000 here, 5,000 coming in here, 6,000 coming in here. No, they're putting it all under one LLC so they can show a higher gross coming in per month, and just putting it under a lower risk umbrella. And then down the line, the plan is to branch them off under their own LLCs, but build up that business credit to show all that gross. That's going to help you get to point A, point B, to possibly get you into $3-4 million in business credit, under 2 years across 3 businesses, if you have multiples, if that's what you're trying to do. And construction, again, that comes down to receivables. Construction can be high risk if you just look at it as a whole under business credit, but industry based. However, depending on the factors, construction, it's big ticket. So a home remodel, kitchen remodel, bathroom remodel, that's going to be 5,000 to 20,000 receivables coming in. It's something that underwriters, they can loan out and they can count on that money coming back higher than they could just giving a transportation or a trucking company. Again, this is going over SWOT. So that basically stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Again, this all comes down, what I'm telling you guys, all this is more for you guys to understand what the underwriter is thinking about, how their system works internally, whether it be an algorithm or manual underwriting. All these things are put into place like what I'm putting here. I know this is kind of fancy and stuff, but this is basically what, when you hit submit on a business credit application, that underwriter, this is what their mentality is based on, whether it be a computer algorithm or manual underwriting. This is what it's based on. So I don't want to bore you with that. That's why I said I'm going to have this for a replay, and you can download this probably tomorrow or the next day, and then you could print it off and kind of study it a little bit more further. Okay, like I put here, keys, strategies to improve your business credit approvals, support and dedication. That's what it comes down to, is being dedicated. If you want to get 500,000 in business credit, I don't want to hear any excuses. You can get that, just you have to be dedicated weekly doing the tasks, custom tasks that I assign. So this was like from advice to a student that I gave just recently. So he was already in the mentorship, and then he got done with the mentorship, but then he wanted to extend it, and he had me do another audit and review because it was a couple months since he ended the mentorship. So like I did the audit, basic audit, and I put the good news is that your Experian business credit is strong. So most of the no personal guarantee, no PG financial underwriters who primarily pull Experian business reports will view you in a favorable in their underwriting decisions. However, we need to think outside the box and target the right underwriters by leveraging the fintech credit lines that we can get you approved for that you don't already have. You won't have to pay financing fees. There's no need to pursue high interest rate business loans when we can strategically use new credit lines from fintech companies to help you reach it to the next level. And that's really what it comes down to, is if you just get like one fintech $50,000, say, Divvy card, those typically are going to have to pay back 30 days or 60 days. So that's not super helpful for most business owners because they want revolving or longer payback terms. However, if you get like, say, Row, and then say Divvy, say Clear Card, you get these, you get 3 or 4 of them, and then you can basically use one to pay the other, do balance transfers between the one. So essentially, you just get one, and then you get that second one. And even if you only get 2, use one, and then when it comes time for it to be paid back, use the other one to pay back that. So you use Paul to pay Peter, to pay John, so forth and so on. OPM, use other people's money. And then by doing that, you're actually showing a lot of solid high limit trade lines being reported, and then they're constantly being paid back every 30 days. But it has that image and presentation that you're a super healthy company. But in reality, I don't want to say you're not, but it makes you look a lot bigger and better financially stable than you actually are. But you need to be smart. I have some students that actually get approved and they gotta go crazy and they take their girlfriend out to steakhouse, $400 at Calsa in New York City, and trying to impress a girl or something. And then they come to me 2 months later and be like, oh, I can't pay this back. Don't use business credit for personal unless it's okay to use it for personal as long as you're paying your company back on time and being able to use that, because you want to show usage, but you need to be disciplined about these business credit approvals. It's very easy to get out of control when you start off and you only got 3 or 4 trade lines. You start building those up, and then with my advice, and you do these strategic moves. 6 months down the line, you're like, wow, I have like $180,000 I can just pull out right now. I can have in my bank tomorrow. And then they kind of impatient, and then they make a bad investment in real estate or whatever. And then they don't realize how they can pay that back so quickly. But anyways, that is it. So if you guys have any final questions, put it in the comment section. But just recap real quick. If anybody is interested in, the one-on-one business credit mentorship and a free consultation, just text. You can do it even right now because they're going to be received personally, and the order they're received personally by me, 937-423-9954. Just text that you're interested in the consultation or the mentorship, more information, and then we can dial in even possibly tonight or a consultation. Just depends. But regardless, I'm going to get on the phone with you. It could take anywhere from 5 minutes to 30 minutes or so. I'll answer all your questions, and we'll go from there to see if you'd be a good fit for the mentorship or not. And then it's all done on web-based, where it's all a custom client portal where I'm going to assign custom tasks to you and assign those to you every week based on what I found after I do the audit on your business credit report. And your goal is finding out what your short and long-term goal is. Then that's going to be dictating what I'm going to have you start doing week 1. And then you need to have constant communication with me. Did you get approved? Did you get denied for this? Based on what happened from, say, week 1 tasks, the outcome of that will dictate what I'm going to assign to you for week 2. And then every week it gets more fine-tuned. The lowest mentorship I have is 12 weeks. It goes up from there, 12, 16, 26, and 52. Majority of my students are on 16 weeks. The pricing, there's different pricing. There's payment plan, and then there's one-time fee. It just depends on your budget. You save a little more when you do a one-time payment. The pricing I can send to you after we do a consultation. I don't put out the pricing until I qualify you. If I qualify you, then I'll put out send you an email with the pricing, and then you can pick what option you want from there and go from there. Let's see here. Robert in the building. He's one of my students. I think some of those approvals, he was there, and one of the ones there. Nick, he's a current student of mine. Lewis is a new student of mine. Some of you guys might be students. I don't even know because based on your names, could be a different YouTube name, Welcome. How you doing? Gregory King, longtime supporter and viewer on here, and been mentoring him a little bit. Welcome, also a longtime viewer. Has anyone heard this guy in credit space called Ray Reynolds? No, I've never heard. I get people telling me about all these different people's names more recent. And a lot of them, like I said, they just think they're an expert, and they start channels and they spend a lot of money on marketing, to make them look big, like they know what they're talking about. But again, there's maybe 1 or 2 other channels that can actually show some approvals, but even when they show approvals, it's not that many. And it's easy to show approvals when you have a $500,000 in the bank account. Oh, of course, it's easy to show that you're getting approved left and right. I'm not going to name any names, but there's 1 channel that's like that. But try to find channels that actually show proof, Centurion Black, invite only card, Big Boss. Hey, also, you guys, if you guys are just tuning in, double check and make sure you're subscribed and all notifications are turned on. And can you guys please give the video a thumbs up? I appreciate it. And I hope you guys found this live so far valuable, even if you just learned a little bit. Anyways, with all that being said, you guys take care. I appreciate again for you guys tuning in. Again, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe and hit all notifications if you're not already a subscriber. And then there's a number at the bottom. Text that toll-free number too. I don't know it off the top of my head, but text that if you want to be alerted for future lives, because not always, YouTube doesn't always send it out to everybody. So I have a text service that you'll get automated text message whenever I go live. You'll be alerted. It's a toll-free number. It's in the description, but not the 937 number. The 937 number is my personal cell phone. But anyways, with all this being said, you guys take care and appreciate it. Like I said, for the third time, bye-bye. Have a good rest of your night.